In this video, I'll show you how to use Frameio and specifically Frameio API together with Airtable and Make.com to accelerate some of your content production workflows. And also I will show you how to authenticate Frameio inside of Make.com using the Adobe Developer Console and how to migrate any old Frame workflows into the new API. Stick around. Hi, I'm Greg from Business Automated. On this channel, you will learn how to build systems to organize your business, automate your workflows, and use the latest tools to grow faster. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more practical tutorials around Airtable, automation, and no-code tools. At Business Automated, we're using Airtable to manage the content pipeline of all the videos that are being released. And we are also using Frameio to work together with editors. And this is a fantastic tool that just saves you so much time on working and passing the comments back and forth. So within Airtable, I have two different workflows that are utilizing Make and Frameio. So the first step here, when I have a new video, like for example, this one, I would like to create a new folder inside of Frame for this video so I can upload the assets, and also a new Google Drive folder. So this is like the same automation here. So that would be the first step. I would basically change the status to shooting. Whenever this is in a shooting status, it triggers automation that would create a folder that would be then saved back into Airtable. So you can see it here. For example, the videos that are now in the editing stage, those videos are having Frame folder links over here, which I can click on to see immediately all the assets that have been uploaded over there. And the second workflow that I have over here is the videos that needs review. Once I'm happy with everything, the moment I would click approve, this is the second workflow that would get triggered. And this workflow does a couple of things. It basically uploads the asset back into Google Drive for the storage, depending on the size and format, but it also triggers some of the transcription that then helps to do the auto-generated content and some of the content for social media. So this is the second workflow. It would basically react to us changing the status, and it would move this here inside of Airtable to the next stage, which is scheduling. All right. Let's move over to this initial part of how can we connect to Frameio. So this is the simple solution when we are creating a folder. And in this case, what we would need to do is, I'm using the old version of Frame, and what I would need to do is I would need to replace it with a new module, which would be create folder. So in here, I needed to basically add additional connection to Frame. And this is something that took me quite a while to figure out. So I hope this will be useful for you guys to be able to connect to the new API, the version 4 inside of Frameio. First thing, you would need to go to developer.adobe.com and create an account over there. And the account over there needs to be the same account as you have in your Frameio profile. So if you have your Frameio profile, you need to be sure that you will log into Developer Console with exact the same email address. And in case, like me before, you have been using Google Authentication to log into Frame, you need to contact the customer support to basically change this, reset your password credentials, and allow you to log in with Adobe. And the moment you do this, it will link your developer account to your Frame account. And only then you can proceed to the next step, which would be creating a project. Within that new project, you would create an API project. And within that API, you need to select the Frame API here from the list. So now, once you have created this API connection and this new application inside of your project, you can see actually I have multiple applications and so on. So once you have this application created, this is the moment when you would be able to go back and then add the new credentials over here. All right, so what I will do right now is I will replace the old module with the new one. So let me see what is the information here. I'm just using the name from the previous step. So this is a value that is coming from Airtable, and I can delete this over here. And you'll see that I have a missing reference over here. And what I was picking up over here was the ID of the assets. But actually, this is still the old link. What I will do instead, I will actually basically take the whole view URL from here. Okay, anything else? No, this is looking good. All right, so we're gonna save this and let's run it once and let's see if I will be able to create a new folder for this specific video. So we are here. We're gonna skip copywriting status. Sorry guys, there was no copywriting for this video. This is as live as it gets. All right, so you can see that this was executed, looks successfully. And now on the video here, we have an empty folder and I can actually start uploading videos. Okay, and now let's take a look at the scenario with webhooks. So here what we would do, we would start this with watch events, I'm guessing because we have no other trigger. And we will create a new webhook. We'll use the version 4. All right, and I was looking at the options of events and pretty much we have things that relate to files created, upload completed, and so on. What we need, we actually want the status to be approved. I believe that will be somewhere inside of the metadata value updated. So let's see how that looks. All right, and I think we'll have to test it and try to approve one of the videos. This is actually looking good, so let's see. All right. So we have event metadata updated. Now the tricky part will be that we'll have to figure out conditions that this only triggers when the status is changed to approved. So I'll make a quick filter for that. Okay, so I have added a filter over here, which checks whether the field name is status and then whether the value inside of there is approved. And this is the only thing that will kind of pass to the next stage. And what I will do over here, I will replace the next step. And now I will do a few other updates because what I need to do is here, I need to be sure that the parent here, it is actually a folder. Once I get to a folder, then I can check inside of Airtable which row is linked to that specific folder. So I'll just need to update those couple of steps over here. So I needed to add some more changes to my scenario. So basically we start with the event where we watch only for the status equals approved. And then the next step is instead of getting the built-in frame get file, instead of that module, we are using actually make an API call. The reason for that is because I specifically, sorry, I'm looking at the file here, because I specifically need to get media links. So I want to have this additional parameter, which is called include, and then get media links so that I can retrieve exact files from that scenario so that I can download those from the links further here. So that's the reason for that. And then what we have over here is we have two steps. So first step is a version stack. So we don't know whether on this stage, the parent, we don't know whether this is a folder directly or whether this is a version stack. So that's why we will first test whether the parent is a version stack. So we go over here and check this with a version stack. And if it's not, it will throw an error. That's why we are adding error handler resume, which does nothing. It will basically make this module appear as if it has returned no values. And then we go to the get folder, and inside of the get folder, we will either take the parent ID from the version stack because the parent of the version stack would be a folder, or if this is empty because this module has failed because it was not a version stack, then we just take the parent ID from the file over there. And this way inside of our Airtable, we can use the view URL to look up whether we have a matching view URL over here. And then basically next on that, we can be running our next actions over here. So let's do it one more time. So what I'll show you first, let's try this without version stack. All right, you can see that it has successfully found the file. And let's also try now a version with the version stack. So I am adding this on top of the previous version. So now we have two versions. and I'll connect everything to run the full scenario. All right, so let's approve this version over here. All right, so we have triggered the full scenario, and we can see that we have just updated the status of this latest video about generating proposals with AI, Airtable, and Gamma. We can see that this was just updated here. And we have also triggered another scenario, which is my custom scenario that adds transcripts to the ready-made video. All right, and here from a separate scenario through a diagram, I have a summary of this video and transcript, which will help me later with making social posts and so on. All right, I hope this was useful for you guys and you'll find some ways how to make your content management more efficient using Make, Airtable, and Frameio. Thank you for watching. Bye.